In this video, we're going to learn how to letter the lowercase f using brush lettering. Hi, my name is Shelly Hitz. I'm the artist behind yourcreativeadventure.com and the author of the Brushstrokes workbook. This is the workbook that we'll be using today for the letter F. And this video is part of my alphabet series. So if you've missed any of the videos, you can check them all out on my blog, yourcreativeadventure.com/blog, or on my YouTube channel. I want to start off with an encouraging quote today. Elbert Hubbard says, "The greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continually fearing you will make one." And so as you're learning brush lettering, if you're tense and worried that you're going to make a mistake, you know what? Then it's not going to be as fun and you're going to be more tense and anxious, and you may actually make a mistake because of that fear and that worry instead of just relaxing. When I first started brush lettering, I just didn't even worry about it. Like, I just was having so much fun and I just did what I could. Now, there were a few moments that were frustrating, especially in the beginning when it felt like I couldn't get my thicks and thins. But then when I started practicing the basic strokes on a regular basis, I saw a huge change in my lettering for the better. So definitely go check that video out if you haven't yet in my series. And in this video, I'm going to be using the Zebra Superfine Brush Pen. This is one of my favorite pens to use. And for a small pen, and that's what I have created these worksheets for in my Brushstrokes workbook. The reason I created these in the small pen is because it's easier to control and it's not as hard to learn in the beginning. I do have practice sheets in my Etsy shop for the large pens as well, if you want to practice with the large pens. So with the F, I have arrows on here to show you the directions. You know, you have the thin stroke up, and then you transition to the thick down, transition to the thin up, and then you have your exit stroke here. And a lot of times I don't add the entrance strokes into my letters because the exit stroke of the letter before it will become the entrance stroke of that letter. And so you can do either. There's really no right or wrong with art. And with modern calligraphy, modern brush lettering that I teach, you develop your own style. And so that's what I teach you in the workbook as well, is how to develop your own style. And that is when it gets really fun. You develop your own distinctive lettering style. And this is just kind of getting you going, like getting used to the different shapes and getting the muscle memory in your hand. And then once you really get the initial feeling down, then you can work on your own style. So it's like getting the basics, getting the foundation, and then being able to break the rules. So you know the rules, you have the foundation before you break the rules. And in the workbook, I also go into depth about bounce lettering, which is really fun, and flourishing. And those are advanced skills that I really didn't practice in my lettering journey for probably over a year after I started. May have even been a little bit longer. I think it was about over a year. But in my workbook, what I have is I have you trace each stroke separately and then trace the entire letter. Now, technically, I could have probably separated out this little exit stroke, but I, just kept it all together. And so you're pretty much doing the same thing on these first two rows. But when I have plus signs in between the strokes in the workbook, that's where you need to lift your pen. So here we can kind of just make one big stroke. And like I said, you could lift your pen here and then do the exit stroke. Either way is fine. There's no exact science, and you'll find that once you really get comfortable, you'll do things a little bit differently anyways. You learn the rules, you learn the foundation, you learn the basics, and then you adapt them. And that's what I love about modern calligraphy and modern brush lettering. Traditional calligraphy is very strict, and you have to really work on getting things exact. And it's like an exact science, and that takes a lot of practice. And I have a lot of respect for my friends who are calligraphers that use copper plate calligraphy or traditional calligraphy. And I do have a practice sheet in the workbook that goes over the copper plate calligraphy style if you want that traditional style. But I just love the freedom that comes with this type of modern calligraphy style. So the third step is to take the training wheels off and you're not tracing anymore and you're actually writing on your own. And this is where, you can really tell, like, where are you at? And like in that one, I was not transitioning well. And so I need to work on that. But you can sometimes come back in and fix it just a little bit. Just be careful. Sometimes I make it worse when I try to go back in and fix it. But you can see I did better there with my transitions from the thicks to the thins because I was more aware and I was being a little slower, more thoughtful. And so if you're having trouble with transitioning, slow down. Go about half as slow as you think that you need to. And I think you'll notice that you start to get more control. And then also just breathe, relax, and just have fun. That's the thing I love about lettering, is it's just so fun. I love words. I'm a word person. If you don't know, I've published over 40 books. I'm also an author coach, so I help Christian writers to write, publish, and market their books on my site, trainingauthors.com. And so I love words, and I've just loved being able to incorporate that into the lettering. So now you have some blank lines here at the bottom, and I'm just going to write a word down there. Once you learn your letters, you can start connecting letters to create words, and I talk about that in the workbook. I'm going to write the word faith. So let me just go ahead and my faith is really important to me, and those of you that know me know that. A lot of the books that I write are Christian-based books, but that's just a really fun word that begins with the F. And so I just encourage you to relax, have fun, just start practicing and enjoy the process. Even just a few minutes of practice consistently every day will make a huge result. Believe me, if I can learn this, you can too. I went to medical school. I was a physical therapist for 12 years. I never thought I was creative or artistic at all, and I learned this. And so it just takes practice. So I encourage you to keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.